So, what hasn't changed? What hasn't changed in your life? All right, I actually put this out to my clients, my family, friends, asking them this question. And you know what? The answers will surprise you. All right, I'm Hillary DeCesar. I'm coming to you live every single day during September to give you one little takeaway, one key that you can leave with and focus on for the day. It's called our relaunch September success. And so today, I want to talk about this idea of what is change except change is constant and it's inevitable. And when you think about it, and I threw this out to so many different people, and they tried to think about what hasn't changed. What hasn't changed? And really, all they could do was flip back to, well, let me tell you what has changed. What's changed is never before have we had taxes move. Never before have we done all of this online business, Zoom calls. Never before have we not had an opportunity to go and travel, to go and be with friends, to go and socialize, communicate, be out there in the real world. And this is all started to really make us realize that, you know what? What has changed is endless. And I want you to think about this today. What hasn't changed in your life? And the only things that I could think about were one of the best was friendships. All right, friends, your friends are still out there. But the other two both had to do with business. Number one is your zone of genius, right? Your things that you bring to your business that are uniquely you. That when you do them, you're just jamming. Like you're not having to go up against anything. It just comes to you naturally. And the second one is the core of business. The core that says what has worked in the past is something that we continue to need to do in the future around business. It's the foundation. And so I started to really think about this, and I started to think about what did the most successful people do? And it brought me back to reading. And I know that Warren Buffett once said that he believes that you should read, I think it was 500 pages a day of a book. Okay, well, we can't do that. I think that Bill Gates has said that he reads one book every week. Zuckerberg in 2015, in one of his New Year's resolutions, said that he was going to read a book every other week. I have no idea how that went for him. But I have to say, there is something to be said about looking at the top books, business book, fundamental business books that we still use today. And Warren Buffett, actually, when I was really thinking about this, he had said that Business Adventures is one of his absolute all-time favorite books. And he actually gave his copy to Bill Gates. And Bill Gates wrote a blog about it and said that this is by far the best book about business. But actually, when he really started to think about it, he was like, this is a book that's been around for 4 decades. 4 decades after it's published, these two great men are still saying it's one of the biggest books, and it remains the best books they've ever read, which is something in itself. But it goes back to fundamentals of business, the core of business. And what's really interesting about this book is one of the takeaways that I had was, if you look at people are emotional and irrational. And so when you start thinking about your zone of genius, how are you making sure that emotionally you're showing up for your clients, emotionally bringing out whatever it is, like Maybe you're a stellar communicator, or maybe you're just really this awesome problem solver. And by doing what you're doing in your work every day, you're putting that out there, that authenticity of you, that emotional connection you're having with your clients. It's when you're doing something that is not in your core that shows up as, you know what? I can feel it. You can feel it through, the video right now. When I'm passionate about something, you know it. So I want you to think about what and how you're showing up, and keep in mind, if everyone, we're humans and we can make irrational behaviors, you got to be focusing on what is truly coming from you. What is that zone of genius, that spark, that star, that what comes from within. And then maybe it's time to start reading again. And Warren Buffett said, the more you read, the more knowledge you take in. It's like compound interest. So let's do that today. Pick that one book. Maybe it's Business Adventures. Maybe you haven't read that one. Maybe it's time to go back and reread that one. But definitely down below, comment on what book has been your most incredible business book that you've read. And also, what is your zone of genius that you're going to lean into right now, knowing that, hey, that's something that doesn't change? And write that down as well. So best book, best business book, as well as what's your zone of genius. Let us know. And for those that aren't following us over in the Relaunch Effect on Facebook, come get involved in that group. This is where we are going live daily, and it's where the conversation's happening. So look forward to seeing you over there. Have a great day.